real quick. And updating everything else. Alright, how's it going everybody? Lead meteorologist John Choquette here. I said I wasn't going to jump on until anything was imminent, and here we go. We got storms really starting to get going now. We've had quite a bit of activity, actually, that has been going on for a little while now. I'm going to just kind of pretty much jump right into this, and, oops. Oh, wait, crap. There we go. And we're going to jump right onto the radar here. We're going to start in the Denton area, like I said in the title card of the video here on Facebook. I'm going to zoom right in, and you can see already we've had storms trying to get going across the Dallas area for a little while now. It looks like the cap was having a really hard time breaking until just now, where I roll back a little bit here, and you can see the marker going up and getting a lot bigger, and have more hail starting to fall out. Question is, how big is this hail going to actually be? These storms have been kind of pulsing a little bit, having a hard time really getting going here. But just right by Ponder, it started to hail, and you can see again that marker got really big. Deeper purple is showing up. Again, this is just to the west of I-35, where I-35 splits in the Denton area, right between Denton and Crum. And we're seeing hail falling in this region right now. Storm doesn't look super organized at the moment. Again, it looks like we're having a hard time. Storms are firing off of a dry line that is right back here, and it's having a hard time we're just pretty much waiting and watching to see which one of these storms is going to go dominant. I think this storm right now is probably dropping the biggest hail, where it finally got over that $250 marker, probably got close to ping pong balls for right now. Further to the south and west, over by Weatherford in Park County, we've had a storm just now go up with a much bigger, more vigorous updraft. The marker is a little bit bigger. It's trying to get itself together here. And we even have a couple other storms trying to get going farther south of the Metroplex. So we have stuff beginning to get going here as the better dynamics are now in place with these storms that are firing across the Metroplex. So we're going to have to kind of watch. As you see the dry line, again, the dry line's like right here. It's storms firing around the dry line right here by Weatherford, and we're gonna have to see if they can come off that dry line. They can get much bigger hail falling in that. So that's what we're looking at right now imminently across the Denton area, across here latest radar frame. We're pretty much right on I-35, right on Crum, and we're watching this again moving north. And now this had more of an eastward push to it in that last run. So we're going to see if this breaks off of all the train of storms and kind of goes and does its own thing, or if it's going to, a little bit of an eastward push. So instead of going northeast, it went a little more east in that last little bit. So we're going to see if that's becoming surface-based. If they become surface-based instead of elevated, how they've been, they'll start moving more east and also have chance for more bigger hail. Watching this other one, curious about this one, again, by Weatherford. This one exploded in just a couple minutes here. So, and then now it's warned right now, as we're talking about, probably warned for $50 size hail if I were to venture a guess, quarter size hail. close enough as these are getting going. Looks like we have a storm trying over further to the north by Sherman, starting to strengthen as well. And I think the better dynamics are in play right now. I was saying storms are going to get going around 2, 3 o'clock. It's now 4 o'clock. Storms fired a lot earlier than we thought. We actually had a storm fired just to the literal east of our office here in Edmond. And I was really not expecting storms to fire over Oklahoma City today. Thought it'd at least be in Lincoln County, a little bit further to the east. But that's just how things roll. We're a little further to the west. That puts all of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in play for today. So we're going to be watching that carefully. Yeah, a storm. Let's see here. Yeah, we got to watch this storm by Denton. I think this might try to break off of the pack here, and that'll really have a lot more going with it. And this one east to the west, or east of Weatherford to the west of Fort Worth, we'll be watching this one as well, as both of these storms are of interest. And it looks like this storm's trying to go up as well over to in Somerville County, over by Glen Rose. This one trying to get its act together too. So again, quite a few different storms all happening all at once here. It's really starting to get its act together. So we're gonna have to kind of see how this plays out. I'm going to shift to an overview mode. It's not the only thing we're talking about. Or only thing we're watching. There's quite a bit going on today. We were mentioning how things were going to kind of go quick and possibly have things going simultaneously. Right now, nothing crazy at the moment. The most imminent threats for people is the Metroplex here in Texas, north central Texas. But we have a couple storms here. We're in Kansas, this is eastern Kansas, riding up the highway towards Kansas City, in the general direction of Kansas City. These are more linear, a little more quarter-size hail. Very strong winds, reports of 70-mile-per-hour winds when it hit Eureka, Kansas. We have a couple supercells now trying to fire here in northern Missouri. We have this storm that had up to golf ball-size hail in far western Iowa. So this is to the east of Omaha. Curious to see if something will form even further to the west, or if Omaha ends up being missed with the storms further to the east here. This is kind of a mess right now. I'm curious if we're going to see more isolated storms form a little bit, or if this kind of breaks up in the meantime. Over to the west of Kansas City area, you're seeing more isolated supercells as well. These are all in northern Kansas, well north of Topeka. Fairly rural area in here, but it's still dropping some hail. Further south in Oklahoma, looks like Tulsa, you managed to get the needle threaded between you. Storms go off to the north, storms to your south, nothing in between, probably just some showers and the temperatures going down a little bit. Fort Smith, you just narrowly avoided getting hit by a tornado. No big hail there though. Looks like this storm, I wouldn't be surprised, ends up really taking off and dropping a big tornado later on in other parts of northwestern Arkansas. Couple storm looks like it's really trying to get itself together by Caddo, Oklahoma, and another storm that has been going for a very long time, now south of McAllister. And this is still racing to the north and east. All these storms are moving really fast, like 50 miles an hour, so it's kind of hard to keep track of them sometimes as they are really getting going. All right, let's see. We just got to report a quarter-size hail in Denton. So we have quarter-size hail being reported in Denton right now. So we have at least minimally severe hail. Now, okay, yeah, you can kind of see that. I think this hail is getting a little bit bigger. Look how the CC's just kind of bottomed out there, guys, as we're moving into Denton. Crossing I-35, getting to, what's this, University Drive, along University Drive in Denton. Yeah, we're breaking away. We're breaking away from the dry line on here. So I think we might be getting some bigger hail trying to sneak up into Denton right now. Those CCs really dropped down quite a bit. ZDR dropped down quite a bit. KDP, yeah, I bet we're probably seeing, a report for quarters came in. I'm willing to bet that we're probably getting close to golf ball size hail here now, as the storm is now trying to strengthen a little bit, break away from the pack as we're moving to Denton. Looks like we're going to have hail falling pretty soon here by the storm over by just to the north of Willow Park. We're going to have to watch that one as well. Check the hail size on the storm near I-35 Kansas and the Kansas City area. Okay, hang on. Let's. I'm I got to bring up a second radar, so we're going to have to wait a second here. I will get that going in a second, and then we will continue on. I've got another tornado warning, and we'll continue. We'll show Kansas City's radar area as well. Just give it a minute. Got to give this computer a second here to catch up, and get this up here. Get this stuff going. I'm in Denton, headed to Dallas at the moment. People are pulling over on the highway overpasses. All right, Barrett, how big did you see any hail? Have you been in any hail yet? How big is it? How big we seeing here? Okay, I'm picking up. All right, I'm bringing up Topeka's radar site. Watching these storms rocketing up I-35 towards Ottawa. Right now, I think it's probably dropping quarter-size hail or under by Williamsburg as it's continuing moving to the northeast. But we'll be watching this. Again, the dynamics are getting more favorable for big-time storms. So anything that is currently happening, we have to watch, make sure it doesn't very quickly form. All right, nothing yet from Barrett. Okay, I'm assuming he might not be where the storm is yet. Okay, let's go back over here. All right, the marker isn't as big, so it looks like we might have had a quick little burst of bigger hail. I think we're probably getting quarter-size hail now here in this region right here where I have the purple outlined, and you can see like the CCs aren't as pronounced as green and blue as we've seen before in previous videos of when really big hail happens. So I'm thinking a lot more quarter, half dollar size hail here in the northern sides of Denton, like along that north loop 288. But things are looking more interesting on the storm by Willow Park here. Let's see. Again, this is just at the doorsteps of Tarrant County as this storm is trying to get together, and you can even see, I think the big problem is these storms are trying to, the updrafts fighting with each other, trying to figure out which updraft ends up being the winner. It's kind of like, again, we were here exactly a week ago from right now. We were on here and we're talking about storms firing off the dry line and trying to find one updraft to establish itself over the others. Same situation, different day, slightly different spot. So we're going to be just kind of watching and waiting and see who ends up winning this updraft battle, and if any of these storms end up going really to town. The storm to the south here over by Glen Rose, I think this one might go up pretty far. These are away from the dry line quite a bit, so they can really kind of get going pretty quick. I have an appointment in Plano. Hope to see some action. Is Hot Springs, Arkansas going to get hail? It is possible we could see some hail across the Hot Springs area. Again, Arkansas might be a little bit later. You're under a PDS tornado watch. It's a particularly dangerous situation tornado watch, and that's just talking about basically big time tornadoes can be possible in the area this evening. So, all right, I have an appointment. Casey, what's up? Any tornadoes? No tornadoes yet in this area. We have a warning now for the storm that's heading towards Claiborne. Quarter-size hail warning for that one. I need to get Johnson County on here. Let's see. Storm does not look as good now as it's in Denton, so I think we got a quick burst right there. Quick little burst of some hail larger than quarter, half dollar size, and back to quarter-size hail through Denton, and is now moving through Denton. We'll have to see. Again, we're kind of watching. It's just that game of watching and waiting and seeing which one of these ends up going dominant, which one ends up becoming, is it going to break away? Is it going to become a tail end Charlie, which is the very end of the line? So it's just kind of watching and seeing what happens here as we're moving into the Metroplex right now. Sherman, you're also getting quarter-size hail being reported. Dang, that storm in Oklahoma's taking off. All right. Any hail confirmation? Yes, we have at least one report of quarter-size hail in Denton right now. Other hail sizes to be determined. I'm thinking we had an area possibly up to some ping pong ball size hail. Very small area though. Elsewhere, quarters to the north of Topeka. Golf ball size hail in western parts of Iowa. I know there's a whole bunch of tiny little towns in here, and those can add up pretty quick. So we're watching those. I guess they want a chance in case someone kill. Have a reported ahead. Todd Dawson asks, how's it looking for big hail in Oklahoma? Looks like most of Oklahoma, unless you are east of right here, you can still see some hail. I think Tulsa's chances are going away kind of quick here. The dry line is still pretty far. Whoops. Dry line is still pretty far to your west of Tulsa, so there's a chance something else can fire up, but I'm not too confident now. My confidence is waning quite a bit in Tulsa right now. The storms that fired over Oklahoma City, they just weren't that great when they got towards the Tulsa area. So, friend just told me golf ball size in Denton. All right, I wouldn't be shocked if I was told 2-inch in it. All right, are we getting confirmation of this on the ground, or is this people on the news just reading off the marker? That's a big thing. All right, we have a new discussion here. Overall, organization of storms has decreased in past hour, possibly due to effects of any remaining mid-level inversion on updraft strength, as well as what appears to be a zone of weak temporary substance loss spreading through this region. Wind profile. Okay, so basically talking about storms may reorganize, and we have a tornado, it looks like, to the north and east. Yeah, tornado to the north and east of Fort Smith. They got real lucky. They just missed out on a tornado, and that's going to be moving off to the north and east. So we have a discussion basically talking about how there are some things in the atmosphere kind of limiting these storms a little bit, and they might be taking off a little more. He witnessed it. He's on the ground. Okay, so yeah, so we got a reported golf ball size hail then from Robert Ford here in Denton area. So I'm not too shocked. Again, it's most likely where we had the low CCs in this area, pretty much right on this frame here, right in this area and here, up to some golf ball size hail, and it's since weakened a little bit. Again, these storms aren't the craziest organized. It's not like how it was last week where we had these monster storms. These are a little more middling. What about Austin, Texas, coming this far south? They'll be much later. Austin, San Antonio areas south of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is going to be way later, after about 9, 10 o'clock tonight. All right, Ottawa to Kansas storms starting to look better. All right, the storms are overall going to be looking better as the dynamics improve here. This storm heading towards Claiborne, I got to watch this one carefully. I think this one could be a big hail producer because it's away from that dry line. So I have to watch and see how this pans out. Okay. Okay, yeah, that storm by Ottawa. I've switched back to Kansas now. It's looking a lot better than it did before. It's heading right for Ottawa, Kansas. So this is in Franklin County, Kansas. Ottawa is to the south and to the west of Kansas City if you go along I-35. And that's going to be continuing to move northeast, pretty much following I-35. So we're watching this as it gets closer and closer to Kansas City. Also, Ottawa is a larger population center in Kansas as well. Okay, North Dallas needs to get blasted. Keller in a path too. Pretty much anywhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, just if you're within what is considered the Metroplex, you have a chance for help. So, Aubrey, Texas. Waco, same basic story, a little bit earlier than maybe Austin or San Antonio. That would be anything that's going on now, I think, is going to have a better chance of having an effect on Waco if it's a little bit more to the south of the Metroplex. Switching back into the Dallas area now. Again, I think the main storm I'm going to watch is the storm by outside of Claiborne in Johnson County. I'm going to watch this one. This might be the one that really starts to drop bigger hail because it is away from the dry line where things are a little bit disorganized at the moment. Let me bring up Johnson County. Shut up. All right, here. 251. Okay, I got some roads up on here. So yeah, we're watching this one. This one's definitely dropping some hail. You can see the CCs are a little bit lower here. This is outside of Claiborne. We're to south and west of Claiborne. We have to watch and continue this to continue to form and move to the north and to the east. And this would move towards areas like, oh, we just got a report here. How big is this? Quarter-size hail. Yeah, we got some confirmation quarter-size hail right now off of this storm. So we got at least quarters falling as it is moving to the north and to the east. And this is going to eventually head towards Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, getting into the Metroplex more, moving in a motion like that. Let's see here. That storm does not look that healthy. Let's see, over by Denton. Denton, your hail is pretty much since passed or ended, kind of falling apart. Aubrey, it looks like you're about to see some a storm right now. Possibly some hail up to quarter size in Aubrey. Quarter, maybe some quarter, $half size. Probably a lot more pocket change size hail. It's going to be in Aubrey. Oh. Just started thundering in Central Arkansas. What about Hannah here? Still nothing. I'm trying to get hit. Keep trying to bear it. These storms are hauling. It's going to be hard to... You can kind of get in front of one and let it hit you, not catch up to it. So, all right. Okay, tornado report. Yeah, we got a tornado and damage, unfortunately, in Arkansas. Again, this is right by where this particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch, is in effect. That's where most of Arkansas, and you can see this little shower, it was just a little shower, moved in to a more favorable environment and dropped a tornado. So for those of you watching possibly in Arkansas or northeast Texas, by Texarkana, down by Shreveport, this whole watch up in here, I think you got to be careful for tornadoes today. All right, I got a quarter report now. Okay, that's the one that just came in on Highway 67. Where else? We now have quarters being reported on the storm heading towards Ottawa. This one will be there very soon. Again, these storms are rocketing. So just the fact they're moving like 50 miles an hour is really making it so these storms are getting to their location real quick. It keeps pulsing up and down too here, and it's approaching Homewood right now, probably continuing with that quarter-size hail, just following I-35 through northeast, eastern Kansas here. Okay, how does this look? Haslett, you said you had a Peter Marvel size last 10 minutes. Yeah, that makes sense. It's see here's Haslett right here, and you can see the storms have been kind of disorganized and just training over the same area. So what's problematic is that we're having a hard time getting an updraft established and holding its own on a storm, and that makes the hail get bigger. So right now, the storms are just kind of going bonkers in terms of their forming, but they're not being able to hold that strength for very long. So that's why we got, reports of quarters here and there, off report of a golf ball in Denton, and really that's like as big as we're getting at the moment. We'll have to see if any of these storms can, again, just kind of root themselves, take over, and have that good healthy updraft and good healthy inflow without any other stuff interfering with it. Then yes, then we can really start seeing storms that can start dropping the bigger hail that we were predicting today closer to baseball size. Okay. So, continuing to watch here, we see, again, these storms, again, it's kind of disorganized. We just have to see if we can get one of these to really kind of get dominant, get a stronger updraft to maintain itself. It's like an engine. You need that good inflow to get things going good. So, storm by Aubrey, going Pilot Point, moving to the north and east. That's what moved through Denton with a brief period of up to golf ball size hail, and then moving through Aubrey. And this is going to continue moving to the north and east, away from the Metroplex. Is there a chance the Denton storm will increase as it goes east? It's possible that this thing can keep going. It's going north and east now. so it's going away from the main population centers. So if you want something that's going to hit more people, you want to hope for this storm down by Claiborne to kind of take off. Again, this is all on its own. It's not even against the dry line. It's out in the open warm sector. So we can hopefully see this one kind of organize a little bit better. It's in a good spot to move itself into a much more untapped area for big hail. I know a lot of you guys that work like Collin County, I think you're probably kind of sick and tired of us saying that there's big hail in McKinney, Frisco, and Plano and want something else to be hit. So we're going to be watching that. Let's see here. He's out of here, okay. And yeah, nothing crazy right now. We got a report of some penny to nickel size hail right now in Eagle Mountain, which doesn't surprise me. These storms aren't looking super crazy at the moment across the Metroplex. Okay, let me start going on. Starting to look green in Aubrey now. Let's go by. Yeah, Pilot Point, you may be seeing some $quarter, $half size hail soon here. And in Aubrey, you're probably seeing this storm that's moving through Denton right now. Denton keeps getting storms. I just don't think any of them are dropping any large hail beyond that first one that moved through. Okay. Let's look elsewhere in the meantime while we have stuff going on here. I may get off this stream a little sooner than I normally do just because I probably have to go back and help out Heather and Frank as there are quite a few storms going on right now. Omaha area. Let's see here. Ooh, we got a whole bunch of stuff firing up now by Nebraska City. I think Omaha, you may not quite get it. It may just stay to your east. I don't know if Omaha's going to get this. It's right there. It's real close. So we're just going to have to kind of wait and see if something like that does go up. Any chance in Portugal? I don't know, man. I don't cover Portugal. I don't follow European weather too much unless some crazy hailstorm happens and I see a video of it. Okay. So south of McAllister, the storm has since kind of petered out, and a lot of these storms, there must be some sinking motion. So you need rising motion for big storms. I think in this general area, there's been an area of sinking motion. So a storm hits it and it kind of kills it a little bit. I think that's what's been happening in eastern Oklahoma this afternoon. That's what this discussion the Storm Prediction Center said about the subsidence or sinking motion in the storms. So that's kind of killed them a little bit. But that doesn't mean we are by any means winding down. We got 2-inch report here in Iowa. These storms in Iowa are big time. Looks like they're pretty prolific hailers over the same area in southwestern Iowa. And this storm, I don't know if it still has a tornado on the ground, but this was the first tornado report of the day here in Arkansas as that continues to move to the north and east. Fort Smith just barely missing out, narrowly missing out on a tornado on that one. That would have been pretty bad. Don't want big tornadoes, anybody. So if these die out, does it give Nashville Bears a shot tomorrow? Melissa Younger asking about Nashville basketball tomorrow. Yes, if all of this, I mean, there's going to be a lot more later on. Like, it's 4:30. This is supposed to go well into the night. But if for some reason this kind of peters out and doesn't really happen, then yeah, tomorrow is a whole different ball game. But again, we're not saying that right now. We got to kind of see how things progress. There's a lot more activity expected later on, so we can't say, oh yeah, no, tomorrow's going to be crazy. No. That honestly is going to have to wait till tomorrow morning. So, okay, only pea size on Eagle Mountain Lake. Yes, that is true. There is not much in the way of big hail in those areas right now. Let's bring it. Storm is not looking as good as we're moving towards Ottawa, unfortunately. It looks like we've kind of... They've been pulsing up and down, though. So right now this doesn't look too great, but we continue moving a little further. It might strengthen. And, yeah, right now it's entering Ottawa, and it is not looking too great. Probably only some pea to nickel size hail at best. But we're getting closer to Kansas City, so we'll have to kind of see as that pans out. Alright, let's see here. Ooh, boy, things are looking messy right now, guys. Messy, messy, messy across a lot of the area here. So we'll just kind of have to see how things play out. I may put this on pause, and we'll come back in a little bit. Again, nothing is looking particularly impressive to me right now across the Metroplex. If something's gonna come up, I gotta obviously do it sooner than later because we're gonna run out of city in the next hour or so. So if it doesn't happen, then well, it doesn't happen. Well, the dry line stopped moving though. Let's see. The storms are just moving faster than the dry line, it looks like. Yeah. So we'll see how this pans out. This looks like garbage now, man. These things can't hold their stuff together. I think there's still some capping problems going on. So it's going to come down to, is the cap going to weaken a little bit more and we can actually see some more hail? Oh, there was a quarter report. So somebody got a quarter report in Eagle Mountain. So probably very isolated quarters across Eagle Mountain. So can we get one of these storms to really kind of take off? And again, the environment, the potential is there for really big hail. It's just right now it's not really doing it. So I think I'm going to kill the stream for a little while here. And I'm sure as soon as I do that, something's going to go crazy and I'll be right back. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to wrap this up for now. I'll come back if anything is imminently affecting population centers. Again, right now it's in the Dallas area, but it's not doing a lot at the moment. So, oh, wait, hang on. As a golf ball report shows up. In Bono, Texas. So this storm. Really? Drop golf balls? Dang. Oh, yeah, drop golf balls there. So, yeah, we had earlier a period of some golf ball size hail report just came in, but that has since dissipated, since gone. This storm looks like not as good as it did, so got real close to Claiborne, but no cigar. Somebody said, so another big bust. Not necessarily. Hey, you know, up until this morning, we weren't even thinking Dallas was going to even see anything today, so it's going to... And there's still plenty of time for something to get its act together here. Yeah, somebody said the report for golf balls. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this up just for now. I'll come back. Again, if anything really starts to take off, I'll be right back, right here. So we will do that, and we'll come back if anything is imminently affecting the area. So I'll be back, guys. I'm sure there'll be something else to have happen. So I'll talk to you guys a little bit later.